Hello there, I'm Sabina and today we're going to be talking about the Romantic movement. From 1800 to 1850, the Romantic movement changed Europe, encouraging irrationality, the occult in society as a pushback from the Industrial Revolution. The utter randomness and perplexed mystery of nature is what pushed the human need for explanation, the need to understand why, and fueled the Romantic movement. Nature, through its destruction and power, brought the beginning of the explanation of human characteristics of society. These ideas were explored through music, art, poetry, and literature. An example of this can be seen in The Last Day of Pompeii, a painting by Karl Brylov. In this scene, you see the city crumbling, everything that those people had created being destroyed. Even the statues of gods are beginning to fall, representing the collapse of a man-built society. The painting depicts only basic human fears and emotions such as the fear of death, the fear of the future, and what would become of their creation, all due to nature's accidental power. This overwhelming, unexplained, often negative power of nature is a recurring theme in many pieces of art during the Romantic period. But there are more subtle tones of this in Percy Shelley's poem Ozymandias. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered vestige lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and a sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive. Stamped on those lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on that pedestal these words appear: My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." Nothing besides remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. This poem provides insight on the idea that humanity is not immortal to outside forces of destruction, and not only nature can destroy others, humanity itself can cause its own demise. This can be considered common on the path that the Industrial Revolution was heading down, a message that even the strongest can fall, such as how the civilization that Ozymandias had created. The development of technology at the time was seen as something dangerous. Mine collapses and factory fires were killing people by the thousands due to the new need for energy. The author is arguing that the advancement is important, but the cost of this should be remembered, because the statue of Ozymandias was strong, yet it still fell. The same downfall would happen if society continued exploiting their own. The fear of science, along with advancement, was one of the main characteristics of the Romantic movement. This was expressed through books such as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley is a story about a young scientist named Victor Frankenstein who discovers how to reanimate life. He creates a monster but is so horrified by its appearance he runs away from his creation, who escapes. The monster learns ethical and moral lessons from his travels, and after learning who his creator is and how he doomed him to a lonely life, he begins determined to seek revenge. He does this by killing all people who are close to Dr. Frankenstein. When Victor realizes this, he begins to chase the monster until he meets his own demise. The idea of reanimating corpses, breaking the laws of nature, then having a creation essentially destroy what had created it, were used as the warnings about the advancement of science. and served as a lesson, giving scientific advancements a bad name. This became popular among writers. Some examples of this are Dracula and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, giving a face to an idea, understanding why figures did terrible deeds. This led to the formation of monsters to explain why these instincts are in place, to better understand why anything would happen, much like how people first questioned why hurricanes and floods would destroy prosperous cities, wondering if a god was trying to tell them something. Monsters provide a new expression, a new way to reflect on the errors of humanity. Now, more than ever, it's still important to remember the self-reflection of this period. It's important to remember where we are in the world and how we're connected to nature. What are we doing? Why? Today, self-reflection can be considered almost a thing of the past. Consistently, society allows for people to hide behind a mask of social media and spat out insults, giving them a sense of security when really, everyone has weaknesses. In reality, all of us are monsters. All of us have bad parts of human nature we're not willing to accept. We all have options. The option for reflection has always been there. The option to improve the life of others has always been there. People just need to act.